Welcome to Level Up. Today, we are joined by Faisal Syed for a conversation on business strategy, execution, and leadership. Faisal, let's get straight to it. There's a lot happening around AI and leadership today, and I'd love to hear your perspective.
Hi, you are absolutely right. There is a tremendous amount of conversation around AI today. But if I step back and look at it from a leadership lens, I see a very important shift underway. For the first time in decades, technology is not just transforming processes, it's reshaping how leaders think, decide, and operate. The real gap I'm noticing is this: many organizations are investing in AI tools, but leadership readiness is not evolving at the same pace. And without leadership integration, AI risks becoming an expensive capability rather than a strategic advantage. Going forward, I believe leaders don't need to become engineers, but they do need enough understanding to ask the right questions, maybe better questions, make faster decisions, and guide their organizations responsibly through this shift that's happening just in front of our eyes. At the same time, what will differentiate strong leaders is not how much they automate, but how thoughtfully they combine AI driven intelligence with human judgment and empathy with a context. Because while AI can dramatically enhance decision making, leadership itself will remain deeply human. In many ways, AI will not replace leaders, but it will certainly expose those who are unwilling to adapt.
That's insightful. But what about the fear many employees feel around AIs? How should organizations address that?
That's a very important question. Fear around AI is natural, and in many ways, it reflects uncertainty rather than resistance. Whenever a technological shift of this magnitude occurs, people instinctively ask one question: where do I stand in this future? Organizations must address this not with reassurance, because today a lot of people are reassuring their employees, but that will not suffice. With transparency, leaders need to openly communicate what AI will change, what it will augment, and equally, what will remain uniquely human. The second step is enablement. Fear definitely reduces significantly when capability is increased or when you help your employees increase their capability. When employees are given opportunities to learn, experiment, and engage with AI tools, curiosity begins to replace anxiety. We must reduce anxiety and elevate curiosity amongst our employees. And finally, leaders must reinforce a critical message: AI is more likely to redefine roles than eliminate human relevance. So, redefinition of roles is important rather than telling them how to become relevant. Judgment, creativity, context, and empathy remains deeply human strengths. Organizations that treat employees as participants in this transition, not spectators, will build trust much faster.
Many leaders talk about AI today, but how many are truly integrating it into their decision making?
Absolutely. We are currently seeing what I would call an AI conversation surge, but integration is still evolving. Many leaders recognize AI's importance, but very few are embedding it in everyday decision workflows. True integration begins when leaders stop viewing AI as a technology initiative. Today, everybody is considering this as a technology initiative, and they must stop doing that and start treating it as a thinking partner, one that enhances speed, insight, and scenario evaluation. Leaders don't need to become technical experts, but they must develop enough fluency, enough literacy to ask sharper questions and interpret AI driven insights responsibly. I feel that is not happening today. A lot of leaders are either wanting to become experts on AI, or some of them are very far away from where they should be. Going forward, AI literacy will become a baseline leadership expectation, not a differentiator. So everybody would be expected to know at least that much about AI, that the teams do not recognize that gap in them. It is that the leaders who hesitate to engage with it risk becoming strategically slower and in future may be eliminated from the scene. So people who go along with AI will be the leaders of the future.
What about borrowing existing technology? Is that a sustainable approach for the long run?
That's a very interesting question. Most organizations, especially early in their AI journey, either borrowing or adopting existing platforms. And it is not only practical, it is often a smart strategy at this starting point. The question is less about ownership and more about the intention. Technology becomes sustainable when it is aligned with clear business problems and integrated thoughtfully into the workflows. Is that happening today? We don't know. A lot of people are in a hurry to pick up off the shelf solutions and plug them into their organization, but that is not going to be the way forward. However, in the long run, organizations must build internal understanding, not necessarily to develop tools from scratch. Nobody is asking them to do that, but to avoid becoming passive consumers of the technology, either that is available off the shelf or of the technology they think they can tweak a bit and use it. Sustainable advantage rarely comes from tool itself. It comes from how intelligently leaders apply it to their context.
So, what strategy would you suggest for small and mid sized businesses or for any organization looking to leverage the wave of AI?
I would suggest three starting points. First, begin with business priorities, not technology. Identify where AI can meaningfully improve decision speed, customer experience, or operational efficiency, because those are the three key areas that we must focus on as organizations. Secondly, run focused pilots rather than large scale deployments. Small sprints, successful experiments build both confidence and organizational learning. Thirdly, invest in leadership immersion early on. When leaders understand AI's possibilities and limits, adoption becomes far more intentional. Organizations don't need to move fastest, but they do need to move thoughtfully, because waiting too long is now a greater risk than starting imperfectly.
As we close, what message would you like to share, first with employees and then with leaders?
For me, I would encourage both leaders and employees to approach AI with curiosity rather than apprehension, anxiety. Remember, every significant technological shift in history has ultimately expanded human potential. But those who benefited most were the ones willing to learn early. People who stay away from it or are spectators would definitely not reap the benefits. For leaders, the invitation is to lean in, build understanding, and guide responsibility. And mark my words, guide responsibly. For employees, the opportunity is to continuously reskill, stay adaptable. We had seen that during the early internet era too, and now it is happening again. AI should not be seen as competing with us, but as extending what we are capable of achieving. The future will likely favor those who combine technological intelligence with deeply human capabilities.
Lastly, what would you say to the broader public about the ethical concerns surrounding AI and how can those fears be addressed?
Definitely, the ethical concerns around AI are both valid and necessary. And the only worrying factor is there is a lot of fear in the minds of people and governments. But remember, every transformative technology requires guardrails. The responsibility here is shared between developers, organizations, governments, policymakers, and even larger public. What is important is not fear driven hesitation, responsible progress, building systems that are transparent, fair, and accountable. At the same time, we should remember that ethics is ultimately a human responsibility. Technology reflects the intent of those who design and deploy it. With the right intent, with the right governance, and with the right leadership maturity, AI can become one of the constructive forces for progress. As I said earlier, even during the internet era, when internet was coming into being, a lot of people resisted computers for manual work, but finally they fell in line and they realized the benefit of doing that. Similarly, in this era, people should not stray away from AI, but rather utilize it to their benefit, to their organization's benefit, to the fullest. With initial caution, it's important that we don't go full hog, we don't go full-fledged into AI implementation without thinking about the guardrails, without thinking about the appliances. We should be very focused and very conservative at the initial stage, but do that with speed. That's what is my message to our leaders as well as to the employees within the organization.
Faisal, thank you for your time today and for sharing such valuable insights with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You too have a great day ahead. Bye.
This was Faisal Syed sharing valuable insights on leadership and AI. We hope you found this discussion useful. Have a great day.